welcome to the vlog. So, this weekend's rubbish. Look at it out there. It's just raining. I'm not a big fan of the rain. Some people love it. I don't. Not me. I wanted to do a trip out, but we've got one coming up anyway. We've got a massive trip coming up. So, in 2.5 weeks' time, I'm leaving the country. But where? If you can guess, why don't you suggest it below? I'd like people to start talking below. So if you haven't messaged or said anything, will you please start messaging below? Because I'm not getting anything, no comments, nothing. And if you haven't yet and you're watching these videos, please subscribe and like, and watch me as I take my career making music to all sorts of different levels. This is actually in my studio area, and it's been a while since I've had this thing going, so let's get it going. So I was digging around in the garage and I forgot I had this little thing. Looks a bit old, looks a little bit cheap, looks a bit small. It's a guitar amp. It's a PV nano valve, which takes two nice juicy valves. And I forgot I had this thing because I haven't really played my guitar much lately. But I'm thinking I'm going to get this thing back up and running. It's only the valves that need fixing. It's actually a really loud amp. And because it's just got one knob, therefore it's straight through, so it's one of the cleanest sounding amps. And I believe if you put a really nice speaker into it and everything, you get a really decent quality amp for not much really. And I think I picked this thing up and it was only about 50 quid, but it's an absolutely brilliant piece of kit. So there's a little challenge for me is to get this working. So I've got my lights in as well from outside, and I'm going to pop these babies up outside my front door. They were in the gazebo just outside the back, so I'm going to pop them out the front now. They should look quite nice for the winter. So lights are up. Not much really this weekend, to be honest, in terms of a trip or anything. The weather's been absolutely hammering it down. If you've been in the UK, you know what I mean. But I do have a new toy for Pickles. Well, a toy, a bed. So let's see how she finds it. So, what does Pickles think? Your new bed. A little unsure, which is very typical of Pickles until she starts to get used to how nice it is. Really soft. We'll see how she goes. Fussy little cat, aren't you? Might take a little bit longer. I thought I'd show you this track that I've been working on. It's been a bit fun to do because I didn't really write it as such. The computer wrote it. That's the one you've been hearing in the track so far. Not all of it's been written by the computer. I've done some of it myself. But I wanted to really show you this really cool plugin I just picked up. It wasn't expensive. I think it was like 20 bucks or something, or 20 quid or whatever. Maybe even cheaper than that in some of the sales. I think there's a deal on at the moment. It's by WA Production, and I'm going to show it to you now, and you can have a look at it with me and see what you think. Okay, so I've loaded this up. This is Insta Composer. This is my tool that I've used in this particular song. Now, controversial or not, I don't know. It's interesting though to see what a computer can do. It uses artificial intelligence to come up with ideas. And on the left hand side here of the plugin, you can see there are 5 tracks. If you'd like, it's a 5-track artificial intelligent composer. It can do chords, it can do melody lines, bass, it can do all sorts of different things. Come up with different areas here. You can choose in here by what mode you want. So if you want rhythm, riff, bass, pad, chords, melody. So here's what it came up for me. So if I press play, Now, by all means have not finished playing around with this thing. What you hear in this song was just me dabbling with some ideas, and here's what I came up with. So these are the chords. If we forward it in a bit, I'll show you what I did here in a minute. I used Nexus and then I let it do this. Now, admittedly, it sounds like a complete Daft Punk rip-off in the chorus at the moment. The reason for that was what I was playing with. But this section here I quite like. And that little piano idea there, it's as simple as anything, but that was my own idea. So I put that in there and used the other elements around it. Now, the advantage is that it's almost like I can say that if you were to compose a song with somebody else, maybe you could sort of see it, something like that. Is it cheating? I don't think it is, as long as you're true to yourself about how you use this stuff. I mean, you could come up with, or you could find a loop or something that somebody else had made or whatever. I mean, I've predominantly used it for the chords. This section here is cheating. But then that's because I was just going a bit wild with Nexus and having some fun. Nexus has a preset patch, which when you play it, it literally plays almost everything for you. Oh, if you haven't heard Nexus before, by the way, Nexus is an absolute powerhouse of sounds. It's a complete cheat system, really. It's not cheap to get. It does have, as you can see, a lot of tweakability in there. And I like to go in and find little elements of Nexus and use them within my songs. I might just pinch like a snare sound sometimes, or I might just pinch like one particular layer, as they're called. And you can use those however you wish in your songs. I try to usually just stick to sounds really from Nexus. But it gives you an idea of what this can do. And to think, if we go back to the original part here that I played you earlier, and we go back into Insta Composer, to think that it just came from this. And when you think about it, really, it's generated me a repetitive chord pattern going on here. And I could have come up with that if I wanted to. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a loop of, I think it uses slightly different chord, a chord at the end, just to move it in and bring it back round again on the pattern here. But it's basically just giving you an idea that you could come up with on your own, but maybe you wouldn't have thought of. Or maybe if you had a friend who sat there and played some chords for you, might have inspired you. I kind of like to think of this as kind of like your virtual musician friend. You know, it's the great thing is that it uses all the different artificial intelligence. Down here, you can choose how much it gets, how it sort of changes the sounds and stuff. So you can use it to generate different kind of musical ideas. And you can change whether or not you've got more basic or more exotic chords. You can choose whether it's got more or less notes, whether they're scaled notes, whether they're more chordal notes. And you can do more randomizations. There's loads of presets built in as well that you could start from. It's just for something that's a little bit of a cheap kind of help you out when you're feeling a bit stuck to get inspired. As you can see, I used it. If I took a few elements from this plugin like this and I just decided to use even just this part here, which I probably will. I really like that bit. Then I've got myself another song. And nobody's really going to know or care. And there's going to still be enough of me in it. I just couldn't be bothered to come up with some chords to start with. But I came up with the melodies. And to say I couldn't be bothered is perhaps a bit unfair. Sometimes I get stuck thinking in a certain way. And I don't want to get stuck thinking in a certain way. This just takes me and goes, how about trying these chords for a change? So there you go. Artificial intelligence in music. I certainly recommend it. Get yourself a copy of this Instacomposer quickly. Play around with it. It's cheap, it's fun, and it'll just inspire you to do something a bit different. And don't feel too bad about using it either. I would say that it's certainly an inspirational tool that will just kind of help you come up with some ideas when you're a bit stuck. Well, that's it for this week. Like I said, not much of a trip. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing something a little bit different though. Artificial intelligent music creation. Could it be the future of music? I certainly think that it certainly has its place within compositional methods. But music's art, and I'd say any form of doing any type of thing with art is acceptable as long as you come out with something that you enjoy listening to and gives you an emotional kind of buzz. If you get those sorts of things from music, then I think you've achieved it, however you've done it. And if a computer can write it, or a human, I guess it's a controversial kind of topic. But I think if you inject human into everything you do, I think you can at least safely say that you've kind of tried to put something that's alive and real into your music. And then the rest is basically how much do you enjoy listening to it. Anyway, so how long until the trip? So I've got 2 more weekends. Not including this one, so would be third, but this is almost over. So 2 more weekends, 2.5 weeks, and then I'm on the aeroplane going somewhere really nice and warm. I'll give you another hint. It's somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. That might have given it away a bit. There's still a few options there, though. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this vlog, please like and subscribe down below. Please continue to check out each week. I will try and add something new musically every week. And there'll be a couple of great trips coming up soon, so keep an eye out for those. Have a good week, everybody, and take care. Catch you later.